How many of you have heard about a Chinese bamboo tree before? You plant a Chinese bamboo tree, 5 years on the row, you are there watering it. Well, guess what? 5 years, 2 weeks. The Chinese bamboo tree stretches 90 feet into the sky. Boom! From nowhere. I want to ask you a question. Did it grow in 2 weeks? Or did it grow underground 5 years and 2 weeks? All the while, it's been growing. It's been developing. But there is a time for its announcement. When I go for conferences, I always pray for my aha moment to come. Your aha moment may not come from my session, may not come from the next speaker's session, but always look out for your destiny-defining moment. Because if you miss it, then the whole of this journey and the whole of this 3 days exercise will go in futility. But I trust that that will not be you. So it means, therefore, that your heart should be prepared. Let your heart be open. Be like a sponge. Soak up everything that you hear. After each session, go back again. Introspect. Yes, it's good. We want to connect. We want to share. We want to, meet new friends. But spend time introspecting. What have I heard today? How did it challenge me? What value did it add to my life? And how can I apply it most essentially? My mentor, Fela Drotier, says, it is not what you hear that matters. It is what you do with what you hear. I've been asked to speak to you for a few minutes on what is titled Enhancing Public Speaking, Civil Engagement, and Mediation Skills. These 3 words woven together are very critical for what you've come here for today. No matter how visionary you are as a leader, no matter how effective your dreams would be, if you cannot communicate them effectively, it will lose its value. And so I want you to please pay close attention to what we're about to share this afternoon, because it would do you good. Public speaking is the oldest profession, as it were, that you can think of or talk about. As a matter of fact, I'm a faith-based person. And so, the first public speaker ever that I know is God. So public speaking is something that we must crave to understand. We must crave to be better at. We must not just talk, but we must speak. There's a difference. We must not just talk, we must speak. That's why they say talk is cheap. People who speak, they speak and then there is a result followed. I'd like to begin with a quote from John C. Maxwell, who says that everybody communicates, but only few connect. Communication is pretty much talking, passing information across. But connecting is deeper. Connecting is what will make what I have said to you bear fruits, make you do what I thought about. No matter how powerful your vision is, if you cannot communicate it across to the man who is sitting across the table, or the audience sitting next to you, or in front of you, it will go nowhere. It will go nowhere. There is power in public speaking, most especially if you've mastered the art of doing it. Because there's a way to do it. We'll go into the nitty-gritty. What do you understand? Ma'am, what's your name, please?
Blessing.
Her name is Blessing. Isn't she pretty?
Yeah.
Let's celebrate her. Obviously, I want you to relax. That's why I'm doing all of this. Alright? So what do you understand by public speaking?
say public speaking is the art or process of speaking effectively well to your listeners.
To your listeners.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like these guys, they are listening to you.
Yes, sir.
Are you people not listening? Yeah. So she's doing what? Public speaking. Let's clap for her. Thank you for listening. You see, I salute her courage. What she has done right now, can I tell you for free that it has caused anxiety, stress, and sometimes some people even pass out when they stand on the stage. It is called the fear of public speaking. The other name is known as glossophobia. If you are glossophobic, you can't stand here and do what I'm doing. I'm playing with the mic. Why? Because there's an art to it. There's a skill to it. And that's what we've come to train you in this short time that I have with you. You must learn how to communicate and connect deeply such that when you talk or when you open your mouth, it strikes a chord in the heart of your listeners. Every person who comes in front of an audience has a message. Or should have a message. I use the word should now because not everyone who stands in front of every audience has a message. However, they may have a message, but their message may not be strong enough to push the people who are listening, or may not pass the kind of value that the audience actually are looking out for. So I take you back into history. I just did whilst I was opening. The history of public speaking. It is recorded that public speaking officially started from ancient Greece and Rome. These are the guys who are known as the masters of public speaking. They can make you run into the bush when they open their mouth to speak. You will see a reason why you should run into the bush. Have you ever noticed, you've heard some stories about how some people do some funny things, most especially in the religious space. And you're wondering, what's wrong with these guys? Who brainwashed them? It's the power behind the man who is speaking. He has been able to master the art. He has so mastered even those that he's speaking to that when he opens his mouth, he tells them what strikes the right chord. He's influencing them to do what he's imagining in his thoughts, and his vision is being actualized by his speaking. So there's a saying that some people are born speakers. Have you heard that before? How many born speakers do we have here, ladies? That when you start, before you put comma, another paragraph, those are born speakers. They can talk. They can talk. And if you can hone this skill and use it effectively and sharpen it to give it commercial value, trust me, they will pay you when you open your mouth. That's pretty much what we're doing. What's the essence of public speaking? Why do I need it? I don't want to run for office. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to be a pastor. Duh. Why do I need public speaking? I'll tell you why you need public speaking. Ralph G. Nichols said, and I quote, "The number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is the ability for you to effectively communicate." Let me break this down. How many of you are 9 to 5ers? 9 to 5ers? 9 to 5ers? Okay, I see one hand there. Okay, so most of you are business people, right? Business people. I'm here to get into something, whether business or job. Okay, fantastic. All right. No matter the category you fall into, whether you are a 9 to 5er, whether you have a product to sell, whether you're trying to get a job, if you cannot sell yourself first, the people can't buy into your vision. They can't buy into your dream. They can't buy into your product. So it is beyond just wanting to stand before people to speak. Even your boss in the office may deny you promotion because you don't know how to speak. Because when he sees you, he sees a timid person. Most people can't stand timid people. Because when you come before them, you mess the whole thing up. You are so afraid. They are asking you your name. You can't even, have you seen people like that? They can't even say their name in public. That's why I started with your name. Why don't you call my name? It's that bad for some people. And so let us look at the importance to why this is really critical. Apart from the fact that it may deny you promotion at your place of work. It might deny you an advancement. Do you know, because of the fear of public speaking, there are some brothers who missed out the wife that they thought that they would have married. Some sisters are saying, I know one. It was not old enough to step up. Right? So guys, do you understand what I'm saying? It's very important that we understand that public speaking is an instrument that we can use to promote our lives, to advance our lives faster than any other career. When I look back into my history of public speaking, I can tell you that where I have gotten to in this space, if not for the fact that I braced up the courage to start facing my fears fearlessly, the opportunities that I would have lost would have been more than the ones that I lost in time past. So I want to begin with the first point. The number one importance of public speaking is that it opens you up to endless opportunities. I was still in Unilag, and then my roommates and the guys on my floor, they would pack my room full because of some of the gist. You know, when a Wari guy goes to Lagos, our pidgin English is different, shouldn't it? Right. And so sometimes they just want to hear you talk. And so the room is always packed. This is our Wari guy. They won't go to class. Right? And so one of them approached me. He was working in I think it was Silverbird at that time. He said, look, I want to give you a slot. I want to give you a slot. We are going to pay you. We just want you to be doing this thing that you are doing on television. As I heard that, I ran. Once it is outside the guys that I know one-on-one, to stand before an audience was a big challenge. I chickened out. You can climb this mountain, you can do this, but if you cannot see it for yourself, you are going nowhere. Philanthropy kept telling me, look, you can't do this thing. You can't. It was all like as though it was entering here and coming out here. But the day came when I started seeing it for myself. And that was when my aha moments came, and then it brought about a U-turn in this space that I'm in today. I did a course with Bankole Williams, the career GPRS. He knows about it. When they opened me on the platform, the first day I spoke on it, he was shouting, he said, can you see the comment section? Can you see the comment section? I said, I'm seeing it, coach. Then I told him about opportunities. The next day, his office wrote me and said, please, we would like you to just do a video for us. I did that video, and it was amazing. The kind of, the ripple effect that came out of it. Up to the point that if you log on to the Career GPRS podcast, the introduction you will hear there is the voice you're hearing here, except they've maybe tweaked it or something. Courses that I would have paid for, he gave to me for free. He said, no, look, just take. In fact, some people were coming to say, what juju did you use on our guy? I said, no, it's not juju. He told me, he said, look, you are born to make money from speaking. And so are some of you here. But you can't see it for yourself right now. Maybe when you leave this place, there will be an aha moment for you. And some of the things that you're running away from, you will start embracing them. And that will begin to open you up into a new world that you never thought existed. Maybe it's not in public speaking. Maybe it's something else, like baking, like cooking, or whatever it is. But there is a gift in you that if you find it, you follow it, and you finish it, it will introduce you to a brand new you. And I trust that you will see that person in you. Amen. Number 2, it gives you an edge over your peers. This one is big. Have you ever seen a guy who knows is right, but because he cannot talk, he's being oppressed. Is the man who has his voice, not just loud, but knows how to skillfully put the words together. And then they say, I'm thinking that's the correct guy you should go to. That has elevated you. It has brought you out of that space. It has made you say, I am not your matey. If you know what that means. I have seen this happen in my own space as well. Time after time. That even if I go into a space and I decide to be quiet and stay in my shell, the day I open my mouth, I don't do it intentionally to say, notice me. It's just natural. A fish cannot say, look, I don't want to swim so that they will not know I'm a fish. Is that possible? No. Once it swims, they know this is a fish. That's how it is with public speaking. So it sets you above your peers. Number 3, it gives you a voice for your contemporaries. You know, I founded the leadership organization known as Find Your Voice Consult. And it's strictly because I believe with all of my heart that there is a message inside everyone, and that message is yearning to be expressed for others to hear. So one of the things that we do is to help direct you to your core message. Because every public speaker must have a message, a core message. At the beginning, you can talk about everything. You can talk about everything. Yes, I can be paid to talk about anything. But there are some things that I will not accept. Not because I can't talk about them, but they don't resonate with my values. So at the beginning, that could be the case. But as you grow in the ladder, you begin to fine-tune your message to that voice that is inside your spirit. Your voice is not just this voice, it's the message that your souls echo. Write that down. Your voice is the message that your soul echoes. Your voice is the message of your soul. Your voice is your passion. Your voice is your conviction. Your voice is your power. And if you don't have a voice, you can't go too far. Public speaking gives you an opportunity to become a leader in the area of your gifting. Pastor I will tell you more about this. That when you can clearly express your gift through the words of your mouth, automatically in that your space, you're not in competition with anyone, but you stand out as a leader on your own, because I hope you understand that we are all leaders. Don't make no one fool you. You are a leader. I need you to put your right hand on your chest and declare it. Say, I am a leader.
I am a leader.
I am a leader.
I am a leader.
You need to understand that. But hear me. What is leadership? Leadership is the ability for you to influence others. Number 1, through inspiration. Number 2, by your conviction. Number 3, motivated by a passion. Leadership is influence, nothing more, and nothing less. So, let's go to the tips on how to enhance our public speaking skills. Some tips. First tip, you must start with a strong and persistent desire. Now, I understand totally that not everyone would want to do what I'm doing here today, and that's fine. That's perfect. But at least when you are in your space, either with your spouse or with your children or with your boss, just make sure that you can communicate effectively. However, for anyone who desires the gift of the gap to become his skill, then you must have a burning desire for it. Without a burning desire, you cannot achieve anything worthwhile in life. Write that down, please. You must know what you are going to talk about. How do you know what you want to talk about? First of all, if they give you a subject matter, like they did on this course, you have to now do your research. So it's not palatable for you guys to have come here from the different places you came from. I saw on the platform that someone came all the way from the north. That's amazing. And then you come all the way. I've been to Kano before. And I know how, it can be. I don't know how she came. Maybe she flew. Fine. 2 days. Even when flying, it's not nice. Because some of those planes are too small. Bumpy. Alright? Then you come here, and then you sit in front or sit down, and you have a speaker come before you. And it's just blabbing. You will not forgive yourself. First of all, since I wasted my time. Oh God, why did you not tell me? That's how it is. So, you must know, number one, as a speaker, as a public speaker, what you want to talk about. That's why I said earlier, at the beginning, you will talk about everything, but as time progresses, you now have a message. A message. So, when they mention your name, for example, they can talk about maybe beauty products. Our focus, our energy, our products are all about beauty products. When they mention okay, I know him as a team mentor, as a team coach, or a children's coach in the area of leadership. When you talk about this man here, he has many sides. Alright? He's a leadership coach as well. I see him as an astute politician, Yeah, so but people should be able to identify with your message. So, there is something known as specialization in the field of public speaking. This is what you should now begin to, direct your energy on. Having had a passion for public speaking, you must now have a subject that inspires you, that you want people to know you for, that when you stand before people, before you open your mouth, they can say, this man will talk about leadership. No matter the message somebody is preaching, give him different topics. There's a way he will just somehow tie it again to leadership. You must grow from just being an individual to becoming a brand. Any message that you heard that moved the people into a cause was banked or buried or founded on these 3 R's. It inspired the people, it informed the people, and then it instructed the people. Action seems to follow feelings, but really, action and feeling go together. Listen carefully. And by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not. Have you heard this before? If you sow a seed of thoughts, you reap an action. If you sow an action, you reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you reap a destiny. Have you seen someone who was afraid? Look at boxers, for example. Even when you are seeing the guy on the other side, very lean guy, and the guy who he wants to fight is, very chubby, you know that the guy on this side will kill this guy. But this guy is still talking. His coach is telling him, see, don't look at his size. You bring him down. You pull him down. That's how it is. And by acting confidently, do you know that the guy on this side, surprisingly, may now even be the one to go down? So if you cannot stand before the people confidently, you can't speak confidently. No matter how well you think you know what you want to say, you have to practice. When you have people who you work with and they go on recess, their recess time should be the time that you're using to even practice even more. In other words, their downtime should be your up time. So what is it that you are doing in your space that you need to know more of? Don't Don't just write it down, practice it. Practice it. We're good at writing. We come here, we take notes and all of that, but do you practice what you write? And that's why, like I said in my opening, the worst thing that you can do to yourself in this conference is having left everything to be here, that you hear all what you would hear today, or in the 3 days time you're going to be spending here, you leave here and then you keep your notes in your shell and put none of these principles to work. You have rendered yourself a disservice. And most effectively, you have put all these guys who put this thing together, you have wasted their efforts. But I trust that that person didn't come. Civil engagement. Civil engagement is the ability for individuals or a group of people to address issues. You must be a solution and not a part of the problem to be solved. That's one of the ways you can actually go out there confidently to engage in civil matters. I do hope that I have not confused you, but convinced you well enough to know that you ought to be a leader. But to be a leader, you must be able to speak effectively. Thank you so very much. You have a good afternoon.